Hey everyone! Today, I dove into debugging in Swift, and let me tell you, it was such a valuable experience. Debugging isn't just about fixing errors, it's about understanding your code better and catching issues before they snowball into bigger problems. Let me share a couple of key things I learned today. First, I got to use the assert function, and it's like having a safety net in my code. It lets me check if something must be true at a certain point in the app. For example, in my project, I used assert in the viewDidLoad method to ensure that selected image always has a value before the detail vcontrol is presented. If it doesn't, the app crashes during development, and I know exactly where the problem is. And what's even better is that assertions are completely removed when I build the app for release, so there's no performance impact for users. It's like writing little rules for my app to follow while I'm coding. Second, I learned a lot about multi-threading and using dispatch queue. When I loaded images in the background, I had to make sure I was updating the UI on the main thread. I used dispatch-queue.global to process data in the background and then switched back to the main thread to update the user interface. Debugging this taught me how important it is to balance performance and responsiveness in an app. I also spent time analyzing my view hierarchy using Xcode's debugging tools. It's incredible how much information you can gather with the Debug Navigator and Hierarchy Viewer. For instance, when something wasn't rendering correctly, I could inspect every layer of the view to pinpoint where the issue was. Today, it helped me figure out why some of my labels weren't appearing. It turns out their positions were off-screen. Fixing that by adjusting their position and alignment really boosted my confidence. Lastly, I learned about logging and troubleshooting dynamically. By adding print statements in key parts of my code, I could see exactly what values were being used and where the flow was breaking. For example, I added logs to confirm that my images were loading correctly from assets, and it helped me spot a missing image file. I even logged the positions of my UI elements to ensure they were being placed within the visible screen area. What I've realized is that debugging is just as much about mindset as it is about tools. It's like solving a puzzle every time you find a piece that fits. It's so satisfying. With practice, I know I'll start recognizing patterns and errors and become faster at fixing them. Today was a huge leap forward in understanding how to approach problems systematically in Swift. I'm feeling more confident about tackling complex apps and making sure everything works the way it should. Debugging is definitely a skill that'll stick with me throughout my coding journey.